Some Johannesburg residents have welcomed Randwater's infrastructure maintenance project in Gauteng, but remain sceptical about its ability to fully resolve the province's water challenge. The bulk water supplier began its infrastructure maintenance program at the Eikenhof pump station this morning. And Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali joins us now with an update. Veronica, good morning. As you say, there is an appreciation for the fact that this work has to happen, and there's going to be some discomfort for the community in the meantime. But in the long term, we won't see some of the major disruptions we've seen over the past couple of months where, there hasn't been water for an extended period and there's been quite severe damage to the infrastructure. So maybe just share some of the views, if you've been able to gather more views from the community, and then the latest from the entity itself on progress in the program.
Absolutely, Iman. In fact, you're right to say often we heard during the very peak of load shedding when they were doing those high maintenance rollouts, where they were saying that it is a small term pain for a long term gain. And that's essentially what we're seeing Randwater doing throughout essentially this 5-week period, where they'll be rolling out that very intensive maintenance project. And in fact, I can tell you that where I'm standing right now is at the Crosby Clinic. This is one of the very key places where water tankers will be stationed. Randwater saying that it's making sure that taps won't run dry for residents, leaving, of course, those alternative measures and supply for them at places such as this, at the Crosby Clinic, where there are 2 JoJo tanks that have been stationed here. And in fact, just a few meters away is the Joburg Water Hurst Hill Reservoir 1 and 2. This is one of the reservoirs that will be affected by this maintenance project. We do know that from Joburg Water's side, they say that pumping has indeed been reduced to about 50%, and essentially residents should not be expecting quite right now to feel any of those changes. They say supply will be normal for about just 24 hours. Thereafter, we are expecting that intermittent water supply. That means low pressure to no water at all. And one community that really knows of the pains and really the challenges of not having water supply when those maintenance operations are done, whether planned or unplanned, is this area here in Brixton, which is obviously also connected to Coronationville, Auckland Park, and they have been going on about the water issues here for quite some time now. But I'm going to speak to a resident of this community to really get a sense from them about their readiness, how have they prepared, and whether or not they have been getting that sufficient alternative resources and measures from Randwater and Joburg Water combined. Thank you so much, Safia Pando, for your time. I really appreciate it. I think just first and foremost, the maintenance work, I can imagine that residents here are looking forward to making sure that there is a better supply of water in this community.
Good morning. Yes, I think standing here and standing quite next to our ward councillor, Rikine, every time we did have an interruption with water supply, I can only say he's definitely been hands-on. He's always made sure that for the amount of people we have that have boreholes in the area, number one, the mosques that have boreholes in our areas at different places, Councillor and his team would always send that list out so we know exactly where water can be fetched. He would make sure that water tankers are roaming around in the streets, and if needs be, us as residents take it upon ourselves to tell him that we don't have a tanker here, we don't have a tanker there, and it comes through. When JoJos are empty, doesn't matter where they're situated in the ward, not only in my community. Councillor and his team would make sure that it is done. But most of all, we also have a Brixton CPF community service here in our area. And I take my hats off, and it wouldn't be fair not to say thank you to them. Because when we know, yes, there's JoJo tankers all around, yes, there's water tankers coming out to give us water, our elderly sometimes are not able to carry those buckets and bottles of water. We have Zap that's always assisting with his bakkie. We have our patrollers in our CPF head by Rahid Hussein that will make sure there's bakkies available, there's bottles available, there's buckets available to take water to the different old age homes or the elderly for that matter.
And what is just your concerns in regards to this maintenance project? While of course it is, good, and while we really do need it, do you have any concerns?
I do. You mentioned when you start that we're standing in front of the Crosby Clinic. Every one of us knows at the Crosby Clinic, we also have services for the elderly, for the pregnant, for HIV, for TB. So when there's such an intense water interruption, it definitely affects the clinic. The clinic cannot function if there's no water. And when there's no water, it seems very unfair that we need to close our clinic for that duration. What do we do then?
And, you spoke very much about the councillor being a part of this community. I'm actually joined now by the ward councillor. Councillor Ricky, thank you for your time. You heard the concerns about the fact that this is an extensive maintenance project. What are you doing to ensure that not just clinics, but households, businesses, the elderly will have that access to water? Are you working with Joburg Water and I guess other community members?
Good day to you and good day to the viewers out there. I must say we've been briefed by both Rand Water and Joburg Water on what they put in place to try to minimize the impact on residents. I got to say at the offset, my ward, Ward 58, which is part of the commando system, which is the problematic system in all the water systems in the city of Joburg. So we've been experiencing this for some time. There's been residents in Eikenhof, Meyer and Friederdorp that actually there's a few streets that have been experiencing this for something like 8 years. So we're quite used to the tankers. What we've done in our wards, especially at all the old age homes in the Friederdorp, Pageview, Eikenhof, Meyer area, 90% of them have got JoJo tanks. Some supplied by Rand, by Joburg Water. The rest has been an initiative of mine in conjunction with sponsors Sportsburg Independent and a couple of the Islamic organizations like Gift of the Givers and the Al-Inda Foundation that have come to the party and assisted us with tanks. So we have got quite a lot of JoJo tanks placed across the ward. I want to take this opportunity to thank the residents that have got boreholes. I must say these are amazing people. They open their doors and they open those steps to the residents. So this makes it a lot easier. From Joburg Water, they will be having roving tankers. My area has been serviced by tankers for the last 18 months. So I'm quite used to the routine of tankers coming in. They generally try to fill up all the JoJos and then we'll have them roving door to door. As Safia explained, a big problem that we face is we have a lot of elderly in the community. And this is a problem for an elderly person to be carrying a 20-liter bucket. So hopefully we will, the patrollers have been fantastic, Safia and the team have been fantastic. So they will come to the party and we will assist where we have to. We'll try to put a database. We do have some addresses, but we hope more comes through those that will require physical help to get the water into their houses. I want to say that this is necessary. This update is way beyond, it should have been done 2 or 3 years ago. So this is necessary. It's about minimalizing the effect on the residents. My message to residents is that not just with this maintenance and the problems we've been experiencing with water, Southern Africa is a water scarce continent. We need to realize this and we need to change our habits.
Thank you so much.
Water.
Thank you so much, Constance. Thank you so much. Well, back to you, Iman, in studio as we, of course, continue to roam around the community to see how residents of Johannesburg are preparing, of course, for that major maintenance project that will be taking place up until the 29th of July.
Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali, thank you very much for that update.